In this way, they will lay up treasure for themselves as a firm foundation for the coming age, so that they may take hold of the life that is truly life. Guys, one of the big themes of this is every blessing that you don't turn back to praise has the potential to turn into pride. I liked it. I'm going to say that again in case y'all weren't listening. Every blessing that you don't turn into a praise, when I don't thank God for the things and for the abilities and for the talents and the gift and the treasure that I have, no matter how big or small, every blessing that you don't turn into a praise has the potential to turn into pride. We can think that we got here because we're so good. We can think that God saved us because we're so awesome. When the reality is everything we have and every privilege we can partake in and every blessing that is given to us is not our own. But it comes from the Father above. So my question is this: what is rich? What is rich? Where is that metaphorical line in the sand? So this week, I did a bunch of research to find out what is rich. And so I found some interesting statistics that I want to share with you. According to a Gallup poll, they went through several years ago and they asked people who made around $30,000. They said, hey, what amount of money would you have to make in order to be rich? What would your net salary have to be for you to bring home in order for you to have arrived? And the answer for that, for people that made $30,000 or around about in that area, was $74,000. $74,000, that was their line of rich. Some of you guys in here make $74,000 and you're thinking, now son, let's sit down and talk. Because that ain't all it's cracked up to be. They did another research poll where they talked with people who made in and around $50,000. And they said, hey, you make 50 grand a year. How much would you have to make to be rich, to be wealthy, to be super comfortable, to have everything you want? And those people, they didn't say 74,000, they said 108,000. If I could just make six figures, how many of y'all thought that? If I could just make six figures, you guys are like, bro, I'm still working on 5. And I get it. I remember being very young when I was just coming out of college, working, and I made for the first time in 1 month $1,100 through 3 jobs. That totaled about 70 hours. And I made $1,100. And I thought, woo-hoo, Daddy's eating good tonight. And then Friday came, and that $1,100 was negative. And I felt betrayed. We say it often, adulthood is what? The worst hood, right? Because adult money comes with adult bills. And I remember the first time I got a full-time job, and my salary, it was $37,800. And I thought I was the wealthiest man in the world. And there are some of you in here right now thinking, was that the dark ages? That was actually about 20, too many years ago. But the line changes. Because, man, 37,000 sounds great until you had a kid. Or you had 2. Or 5. Or a house. Or a car payment. So where is that line? Top income earners, people that make over $200,000 a year in America, set that line. The general consensus was $5 million in liquid assets. And all of us said, duh. Right? Like, yeah, I guess that's a little rich. But does that mean that if you have $2 million in liquid assets that you're poor? Where is rich? You see, it's a moving target. And today, I have good news and I have bad news for you. The good news is, you're rich. You are rich. In fact, turn to somebody next to you or around you and shout out, I'm rich. That was like so unenthusiastic. All right, let's do this. Let's turn to somebody and say, you're rich. Oh, you guys had an easier time saying that, right? Here's the good news, guys. The good news is, and this is so important, guys, please, please, please don't tune me out because I saw the roll of about half of your eyes like, oh, man, must be nice on stage, right? Like, hear me out. You are rich, and in not just financial ways. You are rich in so many ways, and we're going to explain that here in just a moment, and that is a key core foundation for us to understand this entire series. You are rich. But how many of us felt a whole bunch better now that we learned that? Me neither. Right? Here's the thing, guys. Look at this. If you make $30,000 or more in a year, you are in the top 1% of earners in the world. Out of nearly 7 billion people, $30,000 or more a year, you are in the top 1% of earners in the world. If you make $89,000 a year, you're in the top 0.1% of the top 1% in the world. How mind-blowing is that? If you own a car, you are in the, just one, not two, just one. If you own a car, you are by more than 3 billion people's standards, exorbitantly rich. More than 3 billion people in the world live on $2 a day. My coffee budget is more than $2 a day. You, by the standards of the world, are rich. And I want to be sensitive to recognize the idea, just because by the world's standards, it doesn't make us rich by our standards. And just because $30,000 is a lot of money to other people doesn't mean it's a lot of money to us. I'm not saying that there aren't struggles. I'm not trying to be insensitive to giant medical bills or anything that you're struggling with. There are people that are here right now that are single moms or single dads or grandparents raising grandkids. And you hear that and it can almost infuriate you because it feels like an accusation. But hear me out. Today, after church, every one of us will walk outside from our air-conditioned church building to our air-conditioned car with power windows and cruise control and drive home after picking up an order of pizza because Sunday is our nap day. Amen? And cooking is almost a sin on Sunday afternoons. And then we're going to wonder, should we eat this pizza on our plasticware or our nice dishware because we really don't want to do dishes today.